Welcome back, MMA Odds Breaker. Today we're talking to Joe Soto. He's getting ready to fight Anthony Birchak finally here coming up on UFC Fight Night. For those of you at home, remember he was supposed to fight Anthony before, but then Renan Barão got sick or got hurt or something, day of weigh-in, and you jumped up and fought TJ Dillashaw on, what was it, like a 20-minute notice, 10-minute notice?
It was like an hour's notice, right before weigh-ins, an hour before weigh-ins.
So, I mean, obviously that fight didn't go as planned. You lost that fight in the 5th round. But taking a fight on short notice goes a lot to saying you're taking a championship fight like I'm going to save the show. Like that's what happened. Like I'm going to save the show. I'm the guy that's going to step up and take it. And you get all the way into the 5th round, even though you've been planning on a totally different person to fight, a totally different look, a totally different feel. What were your nerves like getting ready for that one?
I mean, I don't think they were as crazy as usual because I didn't have time to get nervous, it seemed like, and I didn't have, like, obviously I didn't have that much. I had more to gain than to lose, but obviously you're kind of nervous. I mean, you don't want to get hurt. You know, it's like you're not prepared. I mean, you're not prepared mentally for this. Usually you get 2 months to prepare mentally for like a championship. If you're going to fight for a world title, you're going to get 2 months to prepare mentally, and you know you're going to go crazy, extra mile during training camps. But I was kind of nervous, but not so much, not like a regular fight, because I just felt like I didn't have as much to lose usually. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of a win-win, so the nerves weren't crazy, but it was still like it was kind of like an outer body experience, kind of like, wow, this is crazy, like, you know, it was weird.
Did they give you any extra money for jumping in the title fight, especially on last notice like that?
Yeah, no, they gave me a big bonus. So Dana hooked it up. Now I call him Uncle Dana now.
Yeah, it seems like that everybody that calls him Uncle Dana has done something good for the UFC. Has either like a great champ like Conor McGregor who's talked his way in a title fight and obviously sold out to Boston, within like what it was, like 3 or 4 minutes. He obviously was the first big name guy that kind of was like, oh, Uncle Frank, Uncle Dana, he kind of, Uncle Lorenzo, like this was his thing. But then a lot of guys that say like Dana's like, he's like Uncle Dana's because you went out and did something for them, and they really appreciate it. Do you still feel even now? Do you feel like that? It's kind of calmed down. It's been, that was back in August of 2014. This is now, the next fight is June of 2015 on June 6th. Do you still feel like that? Like they still treat you the same kind of way?
Yeah, no, they still treat me, ever since I've signed with them, they've been treating me really, really good. I've nothing but, everybody's polite, and everybody's just really, really good there. You hear stories, you don't know how the UFC is, or you hear bad stories, good stories, I guess. But that's my experience. Everybody has a different experience with the company. My experience, everything's been really, really well. It's probably the best company I've ever been at, really.
And that's the thing. If there's a growing pain, with companies as well as with fighters. You're getting all of a sudden bigger field, bigger looks, bigger names, a lot more people watching you than when you were fighting on TPF or when you were fighting in Bellator. Like, it's a totally different feel and look about it. And then all of a sudden you get, well, the company's going through the same growing pains. Like, look, they're trying to expand to Europe. They're trying to expand into the Pacific Rim. They're trying to expand, they're trying to get in New York still to make it legalized. And there's growing pains with that as well. And so you get some fighters that say, like, they had a bad time or are having a bad time. You have other fighters that say they're having a great time and they feel comfortable while they're being in there. And obviously you're one of those guys that feels comfortable and you like what's happening. And obviously the bonus was a nice hit for jumping up and saving the show.
For sure.
So, you've spent a lot of time wrestling. I mean, obviously you're a runner-up in, I think it was 2007 in the NGCAAs. You took third the year before that. So you've been in heavy competition, hard competition, long day tournaments, all day matches. Did that help you prepare to get ready for that last minute shot? All of a sudden, hey, you got an hour to go?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think everything, all those experiences, competing in even state tournaments before that when you're in, high school, or national tournaments when you're in high school, and then obviously those big JUCO tournaments, all that, the Bellator, finals, all that prepared me for that situation. They just didn't throw me in there. Like, I had experience, I had the credentials too. So I think that kind of helps, me not just like get so nervous too. I mean, it prepared me. Everything prepared me for that moment. So I felt prepared as far as like physically and stuff. But it would have been nice to kind of know ahead of time. But it is what it is.
And then you'll be back. You're one of those guys that's going to be back in the title hunt again, and it's going to be pretty quick. They also know now, last-minute replacement, somebody gets hurt, you're still training, hey, we got 3 weeks to get you prepared, you need to get in for a title shot, like you can jump in and take over and shock the world and all of a sudden be the guy that comes in on last minute and wins the title. So it's very doable for you because you've been there before.
Yeah, for sure.
Was Tim Vanny your head wrestling coach? Is that who was the head wrestling coach at High School?
Yeah, he was the little guy. He's a great coach. He like, man, that guy was an awesome coach. Kind of prepared me for what I was going to get into. You know.
Do you stay in contact with Tim now, even though that you moved out of wrestling and you moved on to MMA? Obviously, do you stay in contact with him at all?
Yeah, because I'm still in my hometown. So, and we have a real small hometown, so I see him often, and yeah, I'm still in contact with him.
Yeah, Tim's a great guy.
We got a good relationship.
Well, let's talk about Anthony. This is your second full training camp, getting ready for Anthony. You had a full training camp for Anthony and fought TJ. Now you have a full training camp for Anthony, and as of right now, you're still going to be fighting Anthony. So unless Henderson gets hurt, you got to step on that maybe. Actually,
the first time I was going to fight him, we had 3 weeks. I think we both took the fight on short notice.
Oh, okay.
So we had 3 weeks to prepare for each other. So that was a short notice fight too.
Wow.
Yeah. So this one actually had a full training camp to get ready for.
Well,
him.
that actually even is more impressive than how you did with TJ Dillashaw, because he had a full training camp to get ready for Renan Barão, and then it gets you on 1 hour's notice before weigh-in. You had 3 weeks to get ready, and didn't even know you were fighting him, and look how good you did in that.
Yeah. Well, the thing was too, I was coming off of I had just fought through like about 3 or 4 weeks before that. So I was coming off. Yeah, I was coming off. So I was still in good shape. But yeah, I took that. Yeah, so it was like about 3 weeks notice.
So obviously it's a different fight than TJ. Let's talk about how is this fight going to break down between you and Anthony? How do you see it happening?
I don't know. It's hard, to kind of predict. It's hard to predict how a fight's going to happen because there's so much that goes into it. So usually I'm like, I ask myself the question, like, how's this fight? How's it going to end? Am I going, you know what I mean? Like, I try to play it out through my head, but I'm not sure, man. I'm just going to go in there and, try to do what I got to do. But hopefully it ends one scenario in my head, I got a bunch of different scenarios, but it's going to be a tough fight, I think, But I'm just going to trying to find the path of least resistance and trying to work my way towards that finish.
Obviously you've got a really good record of 15-3. You're looking at 8 submissions, 5 KOs, and 2 decisions. You have the ability to go to the distance, but you don't like to. You prefer to go out there and smash fools. Would it be more satisfying for you to get a knockout or submission in this fight?
It'd be probably like a knockout would be cool, but probably I would think a submission would be probably more realistic. I just want to get the win, for first off, and then but I'm definitely looking for a finish. So whatever kind of finish I could get, I'd be really satisfied and I'd be stoked. I'd be so happy.
Thanks so much, Joe, for coming on here with MMA Oddsbreaker. It's going to be great to watch you fight, on June 6th. Obviously, this fight is down in Louisiana with Henderson and Bocek as the main event. So that's going to be that's a great fight as well. So it's a great card. It's a great fight and a great card. And I can't wait to see you and Anthony, battle it out. Good luck to you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me on.